Hey kids, rock and roll, rock on. Week 15, fantasy football playoffs. Hopefully, you've advanced to your second round. I know I have. I've ran into a quarterback dilemma. Uh, it's shaken me to the fantasy football core, actually. Earlier this year, I lost Nick Foles. Then I had the unfortunate pleasure of losing Carson Palmer. Then I went through a Beverly of quarterbacks, Brian Hoyer, who lost his job, Kirk Cousins, who lost his job. I made a great pickup in Cam Newton, and unfortunately, all jokes aside, Cam Newton got in a car accident this afternoon, flipped his car 3 times, and now he's out for the season pretty much. And that made me pretty much look for a quarterback. And unfortunately, I'm putting my whole fantasy football playoffs in the hands of Kyle Orton. No joke. Well, at least there's next year, I guess. But let's move on. Enough about my team. Let's talk about your team. Some news coming out of this week 15 that might affect your team. First and foremost, the Cam Newton. It looks like he will be out for the season. He had the same injury that plagued Tony Romo earlier this year. Tony missed the first game. I think they're going to shut down Cam Newton for the rest of the year. Johnny Manziel will start versus Cincinnati. I love him in this matchup. You have a ton of healthy players back. Josh Gordon will be a lot better because of it. Julius Thomas will play this week. He missed 2 games already because of this ankle, but it looks like he will play. Julio Jones is sore and he hopes to play. Look, he will be a true game time decision for you. Hopefully, you have other choices. If not, I got a couple names on hands that'll help you during the waiver wire segment of this video. Torrey Smith is a long shot to play. He has that sore knee. He basically didn't play Sunday, and I know a lot of people had him in the lineups hoping for some big fantasy points. Chris Johnson. Remember him, CJ2K, the running back? He was with the Jets. I know he popped up on a lot of backs of milk cartons just going missing. Well, believe it or not, he's only has 3 less snaps than Chris Ivory over the last few games. So keep that in mind. If you need a running back, I'm not saying, Chris Johnson's going to save your team, but if you're in a league with, not much out there as far as running backs and you need one, keep an eye. Chris Johnson may not do much, but at least he's being active in the snap count. All right, before we get to the waiver wire pickups, let's get to the matchups. Arizona St. Louis is your Thursday night game. I don't like this matchup for either of these two teams. It's going to be a defensive struggle. It was one of the main reasons why I shied away from picking up Sean Hill instead. I went with Kyle Orton. Pittsburgh, Atlanta, I like this matchup for both teams. Roddy White will get the lion's share of the catches, especially in PPR league without Julio Jones. Keep in mind, as far as I know, I would side towards him not playing, but he might be able to play. So you might want to follow me on Twitter at Dennis77Farrell, and I'll be able to, guide you into whether he's sitting, playing, what he will be limited to if that is the case. Washington at the Giants. What makes Eli Manning look good? A Washington defense. Play him. I like it a lot. Miami, New England. Oakland at Kansas City. Texans at the Colts. I would worry if I'm a Andrew Luck owner. The Colts, have been known to be a slow starter in the last few games. Luck has turned it around, and the second half of most games is posted fantasy points. But keep in mind, he's going up against J.J. Watt. I really think he'll shut Andrew Luck down. Cincinnati at Cleveland. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Johnny Manziel will have a good week. Jacksonville, Baltimore. The Packers at the Bills. Keep in mind, the Bills just got done shutting down Peyton Manning for no touchdowns. That's the first time in like 3 or 4 years Peyton Manning did not throw a touchdown. You have Carolina. You have the Jets at Tennessee, Denver at San Diego, Minnesota at Detroit, 49ers at Seattle. I'm not touching anybody in that matchup. or I'll play Russell Wilson, and that's about it. And Marshawn Lynch. Dallas, Philadelphia, they had a slobber knocker on Thanksgiving. I expect just that many fantasy points for everybody else again in that matchup, but they will be outside. Keep that in mind. In New Orleans, it's Chicago. That's your Monday night matchup. I absolutely love me some Jay Cutler in this matchup. I think this will be his bounce back game. So enjoy some Jay Cutler right there. At waiver wire pickups, I've got a couple names here for you. If you need quarterbacks, I've mentioned Johnny Manziel. Pick him up this week. Alex Smith is a good play this week. RG3, I have him on the list. He might be available in your leagues. He did look atrocious last time out. And don't forget, he played the sad quarterback all alone on the side of practice kicking footballs. And then, Colt McCoy got destroyed. It looked like there was no offensive line. He's back in playing this week. If you need a quarterback, you might as well go with him because I can't. He's already gone, by the way. Running backs, Jonathan Stewart. I love him a lot. CJ2K, as I mentioned, he's still getting 50-50 snaps with Chris Ivory. You have James Starks with Eddie Lacy a little bit banged up. No one knows yet if he's going to play or how much, but James Starks will be a nice little pickup. Monty Ball, and I also like Ronnie Hillman. They're both coming back off injuries this week. Other guys, if you need a wide receiver, you know what? Charles Johnson. I'm falling in love with him every day. Minnesota wide receiver. He's just the only guy catching anything out there. Cordell Patterson is all but vanished. Charles Johnson, if you need it. Dante Moncrief, pick him up from Indianapolis. Reggie Wayne has not come back from the injury like everybody thought he would. And Marcus Wilson. You ask who he is? I know. He's going to take the place of Brandon Marshall. He's out for the season with the 2 broken ribs. This Wilson kid will step in. I like him a lot. I think he will produce for your fantasy team. Tight ends, Jared Cook, Michael Rivera, and Owen Daniels are your free agent tight ends that you should pick up. All right, guys. Good luck in your Week 15. I know I'm going to need it. If anybody knows Kyle Orton out there, will you tell him, please produce for me? I know you guys know who. He's out there, right? He almost retired, for God's sakes. And now he's starting on my championship caliber fantasy football team. I made some bad decisions in life, obviously, guys. All right, remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Dennis77Farrell. You can follow me on Facebook, Dennis Farrell, Farrell. Send me a friend request. Drop me a message, too. Let me know that you heard it, the videos that you like to show, the F word, Fantasy Sports Network 24-hour cable channel. That's right, believe it or not, I'm a cable TV star. I'm like Ponzarella or something. Throw out Chips reference. Only like 2 of you guys over 30 got it. Thanks. All right, guys, good luck. And remember, Hail Hydra.